All right, so I said I was going to do a breakdown on these wide receiver prospects for the Browns, and I was kind of waiting till after the combine, and then I thought, well, I'll wait on it till after the pro days, but figured I might as well just get a start on it now. And I put up a poll saying which one do you guys want me to start with, and y'all picked Garrett Wilson. So this is probably going to be the quickest one because I've been watching this dude for so many years, and to me it's pretty simple. So anyway, let's get into Garrett Wilson in terms of a prospect and a player, and do I think he would fit on the Cleveland Browns? So Garrett Wilson is from Austin, Texas. He went to Lake Travis. That is important to know because that happens to be the same high school as Baker Mayfield, and Garrett Wilson and Baker Mayfield do have a little bit of a chemistry, I guess you could say, in terms of they've worked with each other a lot. I think they're friends. That's based on everything I know. It seems like they are somewhat friends. Not that they talk every day or anything like that, but they have some sort of a relationship, which, given the fact that Baker Mayfield is coming off of a torn labrum, and surgery and all that, it's going to be hard to get chemistry with receivers because he's not going to have a full offseason. So having Garrett Wilson on the Cleveland Browns would be a positive just from that standpoint of, hey, at least they have thrown together at some point. And they've actually thrown together a couple times. So anyway, Garrett Wilson's measurables, he's 6 foot. Now, I believe he came in at like 5'11 and something. His weight is 183 pounds. He's got 32-inch arms, and his hands are 9 7/8. So I want to talk about the size first, because a lot of people's major criticisms of him are the fact that he is 6 foot, 5'11", whatever. So here's my thing. I agree in the sense that his size is not great. I think he could add a little bit of weight. I think if his height was a couple inches higher, he would be a top 5 pick. I 100% believe that. So the biggest thing, in my opinion, to look at in terms of Garrett Wilson's size, he doesn't play at that size. Now, that might be confusing to some people, but when I compare the two after watching them in person, on TV, whatever, for their entire careers between Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, even though Olave is a little bit taller than Garrett Wilson plays bigger. What do I mean by that? Wilson's jump ball, he can go up and he can, win in contested catches, where that's not Chris Olave's thing. Not that he can't do it or he hasn't done it, but Garrett Wilson, and I'll put the picture of him in the, Fiesta Bowl on the Clemson corner. I mean, when I saw that on TV live, you knew Garrett Wilson was a great player, but the fact that he went up and made that catch is insane. And he's done this consistently. So yes, the height and everything, it doesn't look great, but I'm telling you, do not use that to mark him off. That is not something that I believe will be a problem. So again, moving on. So the combine results are in. He ran a 4.38 40-yard dash, which is pretty good. 36 vertical jump, a 123 broad jump, a 4.36 20-yard shuffle. I don't personally look into the combine a whole lot because, to me, you're doing all these things without football pads on. And one thing you have to understand is sometimes for some people they can perform a lot better without pads on than they do with pads on. So I know that's probably not something that a lot of people will factor in, but I personally value game film and how you play in actual games versus, okay, this is what I can do in a t-shirt and basically underwear. So again, the combine results came back good. The 4.38 is very fast. All these things. Vertical jump, I expected to be a lot, maybe not a lot better, but I was expecting maybe like a 38, something like that. But oh well. I mean, it is what it is. Again, he plays bigger than that. So as far as his size in the combine, that's what I'll say about that. In terms of on the field, and I'm going to rank these guys, but I'm going to tell you right now, Garrett Wilson to me is by far the number one. I think everybody else after him are very comparable, but Garrett Wilson is one to me, and maybe it's the fact that, I have the Ohio State bias, but again, I think the same thing of watching Chris Olave. I tend to try to value these guys from a realistic standpoint. Garrett Wilson is somebody who, since day one, has played a consistent, big-time role in Ohio State's offense. My favorite part about Garrett Wilson is the fact that, and everybody says he has no skill set. He's got no major thing. No, that's not true. That's a very lazy thing to say, and that tells me that you haven't really watched the player. So, Garrett Wilson's best trait is he catches everything. What do I mean by that? Contested catches, he finds ways to come down with the football. Balls that are thrown behind him, he's caught. Balls that are thrown way too low or way too high, he just finds ways to get the ball. His body control is by far his number one thing. He's got super strong hands. His hand size is pretty good, actually really good. But as a player, that's what he does best. Now, in terms of everything else, he gets overlooked in certain things. His speed being a 4.38 was faster than Chris Olave, even though I believe there was some problems going on with the clocks and whatnot. But I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories and whatnot in here, but Garrett Wilson is a lot faster than people think. I heard some people saying Garrett Wilson was going to run a late 4.4, like a 4.8 or something like that. That was not going to happen. But you can't really tell that because of how fast everybody else is on the field. And that's just a fact. Look at the guys Ohio State had out there. Jackson Smith-Njigba, being a third receiver, did what he did in the Rose Bowl game. And I'm not going to get into it all, but I'm just saying a lot of people kind of look at Garrett Wilson a little bit different than I think they should. But in terms of everything else, his route running is a lot better than people think. But again, Chris Olave is the smoothest, best route runner I think I've seen in a long time, basically pretty much ever, especially at Ohio State. I've never seen somebody come in and out of his breaks so smooth, so crisp. That doesn't mean Garrett Wilson is a bad route runner. Garrett Wilson is a very good route runner. So, again, I think the talents on the field with him kind of overshadow some of his strengths. To me, he's good all around at everything, but his body control and the way he just goes up and gets balls, no matter, again, if they're too high, too low, overthrown, thrown too far out in front of him, behind him, he just finds ways to get the ball, and he always makes his quarterback better. That is the biggest thing I will say about Garrett Wilson. He is reliable. And I really think that he is the number one guy, because when you look at all these other guys, Chris Olave's skill set is route running. That is, route running and speed are Chris Olave's skill sets. Jamison Williams, speed, size, that kind of thing. And again, I'll break down these other prospects more later. But Drake London, his size and his 50-50 ball. What you're getting in Garrett Wilson is essentially really good at everything. Because to me, when you look at some of these guys, Drake London's not really good at everything. He's got his skill sets. Chris Olave is not really, really good at everything. Jamison Williams, not really, really good at everything. Garrett Wilson, to me, is the best guy across the board at every category. And in the NFL, you have to be able to go up and get contested catches. You have to be able to catch balls in tight windows. You have to be able to adjust your body. Garrett Wilson is the best receiver in this draft, in my opinion. And I know that's not popular. I know that there are a lot of people who fall in love with the size in Drake London and, still hold on to the speed of Jamison Williams. But again, I'll get into those guys later, but I'm telling you right now, Garrett Wilson is the best receiver in this draft. And I think as far as the Browns fit, listen, I think it's a great fit, because here's the reality, and this is not a knock on Baker Mayfield. Getting a receiver who can play inside and out, you can use him pretty much in whatever role. He can play, in the slot. You can bring him over the middle. You can have him on deep balls. He can do pretty much whatever role you want him to do. And the fact that he is so reliable in terms of if the ball is just not accurate, he's the best at that. So when you have Baker Mayfield, who everybody thinks, oh, he'll be back healthy next year and all the problems will go away, that's just not the case. That's not going to happen. Baker his biggest problem is in his head. So if you can get a receiver that can adjust to badly thrown balls, that is what you need if you want to be able to stretch this offense. Because that's what the Browns have to do. They have to be able to open up the offense and attack downfield. And again, it's just not going to be only Garrett Wilson. They have to do a lot of moves. But this is the best case scenario. Bring in another wide receiver and then draft Garrett Wilson. So I'm sure as soon as I hit end record on this, I'm going to forget a lot of things. But I will say this. You'll look at the numbers and say, oh, the numbers aren't that great. My comparison for Garrett Wilson, to me, is a mix of Stephon Diggs and a mix of, I almost said Adam Thielen, not Adam Thielen. Why can't I remember his name? From the Chargers. Why can I? Keenan Allen. That's what I was thinking of. Keenan Allen. To me, he's a mix of those guys. I just think he's the best in this class. So, again, I'll probably forget things. I'm sorry if this wasn't exactly delivered the right way, but after watching this guy for so many years, I know what he is as a receiver. I know what his strengths are. I know what his weaknesses are. Sometimes he struggles with concentration drops, but that's really it. I mean, he is complete. So, anyway, with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Anything I forgot, drop it in the comment section, whatever. Do you want the Browns to pick Garrett Wilson? Let me know your thoughts, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.